interesting. But that's talking about future tech. We've been joined by Laura Cretney today. It's been fascinating speaking to Laura. And Laura, I'm intrigued because you have two very young siblings.
Yes, I do.
And from everything we've talked about on the show today and the knowledge that you have about global politics and different cultures and sort of the way the world is changing and developing, I suppose, what sort of hopes do you have for your young siblings for their future?
I think their generation is going to face a lot of challenges. I think there are a lot of problems in the world now which our generation aren't necessarily dealing with effectively that are going to come back around for them to deal with. But I think the advice that I would give them, and to be honest, everybody, is just to be a bit more curious and get out of your comfort zone, which was exactly what I was speaking about at the TEDx event. I think that it's become very clear that what's going on elsewhere in the world, it impacts everybody. It's very easy on the Isle of Man for us to tell ourselves that it's kind of worlds away from us, it doesn't affect our island, but it quite clearly does. Things like climate change, things like the conflict in Syria. There's been debate on the Isle of Man about whether the Isle of Man should resettle Syrian refugees. The whole Paradise Papers thing, I think, shows how political and economic uncertainty in the UK has bred hostility towards offshore jurisdictions like the Isle of Man. So that's directly impacting our island's reputation and economy. I think we all need to recognise that what's going on in the world doesn't just impact one country or one continent, it impacts everyone. And so we need to engage with these issues. We find it hard when we watch the news because everything's so depressing and sad. But we need to force ourselves to watch it. We don't have to read uncomfortable things all the time. But even just having a conversation with somebody about what's going on in the world, or talking to somebody who you wouldn't necessarily talk to, you can learn so much from people who are different to you. And people forget that. I think that's part of the problem nowadays, is that we've become so divided. It's become easier and easier with things like social media to stick to talking to people who agree with us. Mm-hmm. And actually that's causing a massive issue in terms of solving these global problems, which my baby brother and sister's generation are going to have to deal with. So I think the most important thing that they can do growing up, and that we can do now, is just talk to other people, get out of our comfort zone and educate ourselves about what's going on in the world.